News Interactive is brought to you by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Time to get interactive on your most authoritative interactive platform. And Ifwa Aqua Harrison is here.
I love how you introduce it.
Oh,
you know?
yes. It's the most authoritative interactive segment, isn't it?
And I'm here and I'm back.
Okay.
And it's time to hear from all of you out there on the segment that is brought to you by Airtel, the smartphone network. Enjoy more talk, longer text, and all the internet browsing with an Airtel 2 Much pack. All you have to do is dial *202#. Now, to get in touch with us on the show, please join us via Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp. Our handles for both Facebook and Twitter is Joy News on TV, and our WhatsApp number is 05608 00000. That is 05608 100,000. Please add your name and location when sending us a message to our WhatsApp number. Now it's day 2 of living in Ghana with new transport fares, and people are complaining about the fact that the increase is actually more than 15%.
One CD 50 pesos, and then now we are paying one CD 80 pesos, which is too much.
They have
employed new mechanisms regarding transiting us to our destinations. Now I have to board 3 separate cars before I get to my destination. This is really draining my pockets since I don't make much sales when I go to work.
From here to Kaneshi, it's 1 city, but now it's 1 city 20 pesos. Then from Kaneshi to Kokobite, it was 2.3, but it's not 2.5.
We are paying 1 city 5 pesos for Oroko, and now we are paying 1 city 60 pesos, increase of 20 pesos.
And what do you make of it? You think it's okay? You think it's
We have nothing to do.
Fair increments, how much are you paying to get to Kaneshi?
To Kaneshi is 1 city.
How much are you paying now?
Right now we are paying 140.
140?
Yeah, from here to Kaneshi.
Wow. That's like 40.
Yeah, it's 120, sorry. Yeah, 120. Yeah, 20. Yeah. Instead of 1 city.
Yes.
We don't know because this.
So those are some complaints from the streets. Now enjoy access to public transport this week, because next week public transport operators may go on strike to protest over 500% in increased insurance premiums. It's not the first time they've threatened to do this, but they do decide to go on a full-blown strike. Whew, Aisha, think of the chaos that is going to bring.
It's going to be serious.
Sometimes you thank God you have your own car, right?
But when you think of your sister or brother who doesn't have, then it's a pity.
Then it's a pity.
And if they go on that strike, I bet you things will go bad. Just for a day. Things will go very bad.
But what are people saying about this particular story?
They're saying a lot of things. Badum Suguri says that I think Ghana under the administration of Mahama, Mahama again, demonstration and strikes are as rampant as corruption under Mahama-led administration. What a government, people. We have to resort to strike before their concerns are met. This is very shameful, and Ghanaians will surely show you the exits. Bye-bye. Well, Ismail Halil says the country is in a huge mess. Strike yesterday, strike today, and I guess they would be striking tomorrow. Very funny. Ha ha ha. Evans Tetenate says, so what were the reasons for the increments? Ghanaians don't pay tax or printing costs, administration adjustments for pressure. Ghanaians will pay for better service. Government needs money for their GFS for the election. Wow, Ghana. Please, let's wise up. People are taking us for granted. Lillian Moki says, I say this Ghana has the worst transport system I've ever seen in Africa. Something needs to be done quickly. And on WhatsApp, what are people saying?
Well, Schiffman in Atonso is saying he doesn't blame the driver's car because even the president doesn't care about us. And he is saying that Ubianyu Bia. This one is saying that, all things being equal, expenditure is far exceeding income. Oh, Mother Ghana, why? This one is from Big Joe in Akumada. And this one says, the demonstrations are just too much. The world is watching us. This one says the salary is not growing, but all his friends are growing up now, like transport. We need to say our minds to the president. And this one is from Epaphras Mensa. Let's see what else people are saying. This one is from Kwekubi Abrante Agunaswedu. He says, I nearly slapped a mate today who miscalculated the 15%. And this mate won't listen to my calculation because he said he attended junior high school. This one is from Mahama Ba Kojo, and he says this is where the GPRTU, I think you're trying to say, got it wrong. How does 15% increase on 1 cedi become 1 cedi 20 pesos? We're killing ourselves, but always blame others and government. Hashtag changing lives. Hashtag transforming Ghana. And this one, final one, I'm going to take on WhatsApp. Please, this increase is a sham and it's not a true recognition of the plight of Ghanaians. Why? Yentiobia President Mahama. And this one is coming from Mamwa Elijah in Akumadan as well. 2 comments from that area. Well, let's move on to other issues. Now, you know how we keep telling you to send in your comments on issues trending on social media? Well, you have to check and really watch what you write because you never know who's reading. Such is the situation a national service personnel in Ejiso in the Ashanti region has found himself in. Now, according to the Daily Guide report, Jones Chenyakon has been charged with threatening death for writing that he would shoot the newly posted American ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, in a reply to a post on the U.S. Embassy's Facebook page. Now, Aisha, have you seen that story?
I haven't seen. Okay,
so,
here we go.
So this
we
is
have
the
it
U.S.
here.
Embassy's in Ghana, U.S. Embassy Ghana Facebook page,
Right.
and they posted this up on the 15th of January, asking Ghanaians to say a big akwaba to Ambassador Jackson, who has been newly appointed to Ghana. Okay, now this message has over 300 comments. And apparently this gentleman, replied to this message and saying that, hey, who cares? All whites are bad, and I'll shoot him if I see him.
He's forgotten about American security.
And exactly. Americans don't take this thing lightly at all. Okay, so feeling threatened, the embassy reported to the police, and Mr. Nyakon has been prosecuted. Now, this case is still before court, and it's still being looked at. But this man has pleaded not guilty and has been granted a 500,000 Ghana cedi bail. Now, that's a hefty price to pay for those words. Now, let's get onto the telephone lines and speak to the Executive Director of Pen Plus Bytes, Kwame Ahiagbenu, to tell us more on exactly what you should or shouldn't be saying on social media. Good evening, Kwame.
Good evening.
Now, how much of what you post on social media can actually get you into trouble with the law?
A lot, because a lot of security agencies are now using social media to collect information data. So, for example, if you decide to smoke weed on YouTube and make a video out of it, it can be used against you.
Wow.
If, for example, you're a man or woman, you slept with underage child, it can be used against you. So a lot can be used against you. However, for that to happen, there is a need for proof. One, remember that when you created your Facebook account, nobody asked you for an ID. So it's important that you're able to link the social media profile to an individual. As a country, remember that we're having a lot of difficulties determining who should be a Ghanaian in terms of our voter roll. So that proof is quite critical, that you should be able to prove that the person in question is the owner of the account. You also have to prove that the person was created that content at one point in time, which means that you need the IP address to point the person to a particular computer and a particular point in time. So, for example, if I use a cyber cafe and I did not log out and somebody used my account, I have a defense in that direction that I was not the one using the computer at that point in time.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much, Kwame. And he has been sharing some information with us on exactly how evidence can be used against you if you don't take care of what you post on social media. Now, in this particular case, the U.S. Embassy made a report and Ejisu police looked into it and they traced the gentleman and he's currently in court.
If a lot of messages are coming on Facebook, Nookbo, God knows Billy says, it serves him right. We joke too much with everything. We always think that we can insult and threaten people on social media without any punishment or problem. Except Scott says, so the so-called U.S. ambassador is more valuable than the citizens of our own country. Shine your eyes, Yawa people. Mahama Bakujo says, I see these Catholic bishops are very funny.
Okay, this has nothing to do
with nothing to do with what we're talking about. And says something that they says Ghanaians talk too much. I don't know what you're trying to say. One can, okay, one can, or something. Inusa Mohammed says, on what basis did he do that? I think it doesn't befit the morals of this country. That's from Inusa Mohammed from Takwan Yaokwa. She says, I should give 0 Ghana cedi. The person has threatened with message on social media and you follow. Does it really make sense?
Well, like we're saying, the Americans take this thing very, very seriously. It's not like here you can write anything and people will be like, oh.
I mean, some attempted murder should be taken as murder because if you've written, it means you can do it. So they don't take these things kindly. And I think I agree with them. Prince Living Bozam Jr. says, indeed, it's an abomination. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Samuel AJ says, where did he issue the threat? Which medium of communication? Leave him alone. And
on WhatsApp, Kwekubi Abranti actually says he was National Service President in Aguna East and he wrote on his Facebook wall that he will never attend classes but will take his allowance and trust me. The next week, I was invited by the BNI. So he's telling us that we should be careful. Junior Loves Camry in Accra Polytechnic says, well, rather unfortunate for the young lad, I guess this is a clear case of youthful exuberance. So basically, he must be pardoned. USA, dear. So those are some of your WhatsApp comments. Now, when we return, a viewer comment from, actually, a viewer report from Bejamsi. Welcome back to the interactive segment on Joy News Prime with me, Ifwa Akwa Harrison. Now, this is the part of the show that you get to send in videos of issues affecting your communities. Now, today, we take you to Bejamsi in the Krachi in Chumuru district of the Volta region. Okay, now let's have a look at this video. And Bobby Elikem is sending us this tape of the only school that serves the community. And as you can see, most of these students don't have anything to sit on. There's no desk.
They're sitting on stones.
Some of them look to be sitting on stones. A few of them have stools and plastic chairs.
Some are sitting on the floor.
Yes. But there's no table, nothing.
And amazingly, the floor
writing
is not
material.
Even cemented. It's full of sand.
That's it. That's just how they are studying, and this is the only school serving the community. It's very sad, isn't it?
How different is this from School Under Tree?
Not different at all. I think it is one of this. Okay. Let's see, it looks like there's actually some sort of structure, not actually under a tree, but it's not that different.
It's not conducive at all. Yeah. This cannot be called a classroom.
These are future leaders, Aisha.
And this is not a place where learning and teaching can go on. Certainly not.
Thank you so much, Bobby Elikem, for sending us this video from Bejam say. So that is from Bobby Elikem. Now let's see what other people are saying on WhatsApp. This one is from Philip in Sunyani. He says, whatever you do on this earth, people will talk, especially Ghanaians. And he says Ghanaians talk too much. And I'm sure he's referring to the Facebook incident that got a young man in jail. Aisha, what's happening on Twitter?
A lot of things are happening on Twitter.
It seems like there's
Gabio Tredaku posted something on the EC. He said, DI asks why EC is so quiet on its own panel's proposal for validation of voters' register. And he had responses. This is from Charles Rekobrobe. He says, do you always have to be heard? Silence is often golden. You are not headmaster to the EC. Get on with helping.
And it looks like they went on and on after that particular reply.
And Gabby also replied, and
Charles
replied,
and then
there was
on and on.
So on, I think,
and so forth.
Gabby responded, said, you are such a sad character. Read the article before you comment. Am I the executive director of DI? Get a life.
Oh boy. Social media. Well, I guess this one, no one will be charging anybody with anything and sending it.
Well, not the one who wrote it. It's two people.
But yeah, that's it for the interactive segment on Joy News Prime. Thank you so much for sending your comments through. Thank you so much for your company. Remember, the segment is brought to you by Airtel. My name is Ifua Akwa Harrison. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
And it's indeed time.
Joy News Interactive was brought